We're going to try this video again now that hopefully the microphone is on and you can actually hear me. All right, the standards we are going to work on for reading night are 4.FL.PWR.3, which is know and apply grade level phonics and word analysis skills when you're sounding out words in text. And for 4th grade, our goal is to move beyond sounding out each individual letter. We are trying to recognize whole syllables and put whole syllables together to make those words without having to sound out each individual letter. The other standard we are working on is 4.FL.F.5, which is read with sufficient accuracy and fluency to support comprehension. That's the right speed, that's reading with expression, and that's using your context clues to understand new words that you maybe don't yet know. That's really important. I've chosen both these standards. One, because they make reading more fun and more interesting when you can read faster and read more and more complex things. Two, they also help in science class and social studies class, and even with story problems in math class or reading examples in math class. These skills are going to help you no matter what. Now, the strategy we're going to use, also, if you're here at reading night, I have these nice little leaf-shaped, they're just sticky notes that I'll hand out to everybody. But when you're reading, if you don't have those, or if you run out, you can just use normal sticky notes. You can use the back of your reading log homework page. You can just use scratch paper. You could write this on the back of a Walgreens receipt. I mean, it doesn't matter. If you have something where you can jot down words that you don't know the meaning of, that way you can either try to look back and figure them out, or you can look them up later and try to find it out that way. Now, my other bit of advice when you're reading at home with your students, especially if you're working on that fluency, that reading smoothly with expression, is to try to just sort of make it fun. Give different characters voices. For example, in this story here that's called The Rotting Pumpkin, you could have one voice for the sad pumpkin who's going away. You could have a voice for the mouse. You could have a voice for the squirrel, for the slug. You can do it however you want there. The books we ordered did not quite make it in time, so I've put this slideshow and video here together to help practice. So if you want to hit pause on this video, you can do that, and as you practice reading with voices, practice jotting down the words you don't know and can't figure out. You can then do that at home, at reading night, wherever you want. So let's skip ahead here. Once again, as we go through, I'm not going to read everything out loud for you because that's what I want you guys to be practicing. But you can just pause every time we switch to the different screen and then take as long as you need to read it. So. This is actually a good page to talk about one of those standards. So we have here the name of this rot, and I don't know this word. So I'm going to look at this. I'm not going to try to sound out every single letter, but I know the first two say foo, and then SAR is SAR, IUM is EUM, so fusarium. I'm fusarium rot. Before I just write that down right away, it's important to keep reading for a minute and see if you can then figure out what that actually is. First off, it says, black rot, I appreciate you. So the fusarium rot appreciates this black rot. And you prepared the pumpkin skin for me like a gardener's hoe prepares the earth. That's a simile. I landed as a spore, and from tiny gray spores, great reddish fungi can grow. Now you're gone, but I'm living off the land you readied for me, pumpkin land. Okay, so that might give you a clue as to what fusarium rot is. If not, you can jot it down and try to look it up later. This is another great word to practice, that syllabication. It's right here. So instead of p, o, a, I know that P-L-A-S is plaz. Plaz, mo, I have that I-U-M ending again. Plasmodium. Plasmodium. That's a fun word. Plasmodium. And it began to move. Okay, if you got to the end, that's awesome. Thanks for practicing reading with us. If you need to go back, pause. If you need to look up some words, if you want to bring some words to class and we'll talk about them, that's awesome. Just remember, keep practicing reading, keep trying to make it fun. And if you're stuck on some words, you can't figure it out, write them down and we'll talk about them.